I'm Mack Tuggle, manager, investor, and author of This Way to Wall Street. And on this episode of Big Black Charts, we're going to take a look at the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. So let's get straight into it. So today, starting out with the S&P 500, we really want to get a feel for the overall direction of the market. We've had a lot of really, disconcerting news come out over the past year, past 6 months, and most mentionably the big bank failures, right? So I know that there's been a lot of bearish overtones in the market, but oftentimes technical analysis, which is mostly concerned with pure price action, is what we take a look at to find out the true direction of asset classes. So with the S&P 500, as we can see here, and this is, kind of going over some of the things that we've talked about, over the past few months. But for the S&P 500, we bottomed in October. And since October, we've been in an uptrend. And so there's a lot of conversations about interest rates, about inflation, about the debt ceiling, blah, 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 blah. We've heard it all before, right? You got to understand these channels, these news stations, these journalists, that's their job. They have to talk about something. So they're always finding something to talk about. So, you got out of the inflation, and then we started talking about high interest rates, and then high interest rates, and then we started talking about big bang failures. And after big bang failures, now we're talking about the debt ceiling. And, by August, we'll be talking about something else, right? That's because that's what they're paid to do. They're paid to talk about stuff. So that's why, technical analysis, we really try to just, filter out the noise and focus on the signal. And so the signal is the price action. And we've been in an uptrend since October, despite contrary belief. What we have here is a trend line, right? This uptrend line, this yellow line, and we've been up since October. And we had a nice, real test here in March. And it's been up ever since. Now, what we also have on this chart is resistance. And this resistance is, for the SPY, which we're using, to replace the S&P 500. Resistance is right about here. I don't want to be too technical and say, 420, 413. We're at resistance right now. And for you technical analysts or for you novices out there, this is an ascending triangle, right? So we have an uptrend with overhead resistance. So we have an ascending triangle. An ascending triangle is a bullish pattern. It means that obviously there's resistance overhead, but as we get higher and higher, the bulls come in and buy at higher and higher price points. So these are all really good indicators of being in an uptrend. And then for you indicators out there, you indicator users out there, you had the golden cross right here. You had the 50-day moving average cross, the 200-day moving average. That was back in the beginning of February. So we have an ascending triangle, we have a bottom in October, we have a golden cross, and now we're just reacting with the 50-day moving average. So that's really what I'm going to be paying attention to. I would even expect a penetration of this downside, of this up moving 50-day moving average to this 200-day moving average, which is a little bit more significant and might also find a confluent zone right around this uptrend line. So not a lot of thrust, in terms of, the whole market participating and we're up and away. But it's chugging along and it's taking its time. And, to be quite fair, with all the news that's coming out, this is quite impressive, right? We're up 8% year to date for the S&P 500 approximately. And if you doubled that, we're not even halfway through the year. If we go through the year, you might be up 16-20%, just, kind of riding the S&P 500. So don't let the bears shake your belief. And believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, okay? And half of what I see is an uptrend for a multitude of reasons. So we're going to flip to the triple Qs. Now the triple Qs are up almost 20% year to date. So, you know, that's a bull market. So what we had here, going back, is we had kind of a, I don't know if you want to be too technical, call it a double. I feel like this is a double bottom, right? Because these are like real significant thrusts, but you could call it a triple bottom. Either way, it's a bottom, a double bottom, a triple bottom. They have the same, implications. They're bullish, right? So we had a double bottom here. We had a bottom in October. We retested at the beginning of 2023, and then we broke overhead resistance right here. We broke that in February. And I honestly did some profit taking in February. I want to say on February 2nd, I did do some profit taking because I was skeptical of the uptrend, right? But I began my process of averaging back into the triple Qs, and it was actually a little bit aggressive this winter and spring. And then here we are in an uptrend, up 20% for the year. That sounds like a bull market to me. So I know, once again, there's a lot of rhetoric out there, but believing none of what you hear and half of what you see, this is an uptrend. So for you technical analysts out there, we're going to get into some of the technicals of this chart, right? So we know we had a double bottom or a triple bottom, whatever we're calling it. I don't want to argue about that. And then what do we have? A bullish flag, right? So what's a bullish flag? This is a bullish flag. Boom. A move up in a channel. Right? This is a bullish flag. A move up in a channel. A consolidation downwards. And a break above that. That's a bullish flag. I mean, that's a textbook bullish flag. And you know what's even more beautiful about this bullish flag is that it's a confluence of signals, right? So we had a triple bottom, a bullish flag, then we had a golden cross, that's the 50-day moving average crossing above the 200-day moving average, and then we had a breakout above all of that. I mean, I don't know what else you want. I don't know what else you want from a bull market, but that's a bull market. So what I'm looking for in the few coming months, I'm looking for maybe a little fight around here around resistance. I feel like this prior resistance is now turning into support, and that's just based on the most recent price action in this area here. But yeah, I'm looking for a little battle around here. I'm looking for possibly a retest of the 50-day moving average, and not even possibly, very likely a retest of the 50-day moving average, and then a possible test of the 200-day moving average. These are all, very predictable technical moves that I'm expecting from the market. Now there's going to be some news that comes out, there's going to be all types of stuff, but technically speaking, I'm just kind of looking at this and trying not even to listen to everything else, because if I did listen to it, I wouldn't be invested in the market right now, and that would suck, being up 20% for the year. So that's the triple Qs. All right, so now we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin was in the $25,000 range, we said that it was in an uptrend, and it was in an uptrend. Well, now Bitcoin is testing, resistance in the $30,000 range. And I had tweeted a while ago, back when we were around this area, I'm saying, yo, look for the 50-day moving average. Look for the 50-day moving average. Look for the 50-day moving average. And so I did add at the 50-day moving average. And now I'm just kind of waiting to see how it acts again. If we kind of zoom out, we can kind of see that it just kind of has been moving in steps, right? Moved up to 20, right? Moved up to 25, or excuse me, yeah, right around 25. And then now moved up to 30, right? So these are $5,000 increments that it's just kind of moving up, and you know, it's been testing its moving average. It is, in my personal opinion, a little far away from its 200-day moving average. So in, you know, in the next few months, I could honestly see a test of $25,000, and I would add at that position, because this is, you know, obviously area gonna, you know, be acting as an area of support now that we got through the $25,000 range, and because we are so far away from the 200-day moving average, you know, I think that this moving average and this, you know, resistance now turns support, not, you know, validated support because it hasn't been tested yet. But when it does correct, I expect it to, you know, touch around this range, and then, you know, another breakout. But if that doesn't happen, then even better, right? If we don't get a pullback, even better. We just keep chugging along. But yeah, this is in a bull market. We've been saying it's in a bull market. It chopped around 25,000 for a while, so it was not like a strong buy at that time. You kind of want to see who's going to gain control, the bulls or the bears, and then you kind of wait to add, right? So that's kind of where I'm at right now, right? Because there is some resistance here. So what if it does fall back down? Well, me personally, I don't want to average down, but I do want to buy low. So I'll kind of wait for it to see what it does and then try to add there. Otherwise, eventually one day it's going to retest its 200-day moving average, and that's another logical spot to make your move. So if you own it, keep owning it. If you're looking to add to it, you know, your first baby buys are going to be right around the 50-day moving average. Your next significant average in is going to be around your $25,000 range of support, and that 200-day moving average, right? So these are all areas of price interest that there's going to be a lot of activity around. So that's kind of where you want to try to pick your spots, right? But you know, once again, Bitcoin is doing really, really well this year. It's already outperformed the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500. So you know, bull market to me. All right, and so for our last chart of the day, we're going to look at Ethereum. So Ethereum and Bitcoin are kind of like the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. They are correlated, right? Very highly correlated. And now sometimes you get stronger moves in one than the other for whatever reasons. I don't really care, but they generally move in the same direction. So if you like the market, you like the S&P 500, you like Nasdaq. You might like one better than the other, but you know, you kind of like them both. Same goes for Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you like one, you kind of got to like the other because they kind of share the same characteristics. It's kind of like when you have like a type of person you like, right? And then you see another type of person you like, and it's like, oh yeah, they're kind of similar. It's not hard to see why I would like both of them. Well, you know, kind of same for, you know, some of these big cryptocurrencies and these indexes. They're very similar, highly correlated, and it's good to have exposure to both for you know, your opportunities, right? You want to maximize your opportunities. You want to, you know, go with the trend. A rising trend, a rising tide lifts all boats. So you know, you want to kind of have some exposure to both here. So Ethereum is kind of doing the same thing that Bitcoin is doing, right? It's interacting with its 50-day moving average, and then same as Bitcoin, it's kind of far away from its 200-day moving average. It broke through resistance here at 1700. What do we have here now? You know, this is a reoccurring theme here, right? Upward move in the channel, downward consolidation. Not the prettiest flag, but we'll go for it, right? Bam, breakout, bull market. I mean, yeah, just beautiful technicals. Yeah, we're in a bull market. So, you know, I haven't done a lot of videos in the past because past few days, few weeks, because there really hasn't been a lot to say. I already said it. I've been saying it. We're in a bull market. Believe, none of what you hear and half of what you see. And what I'm seeing is uptrends all over the place, right? So yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff out there. Yeah, they're gonna say it lacks breadth. It doesn't have the thrust. Blah 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 blah. Buy the market. Buy Bitcoin. Buy Ethereum. And let's see what happens, because so far so good. So just I really want to encourage you guys that if you're getting started out in the market, we have had a really nice correction. So this is a chance for people, you novices and newbies out there, to get in where you fit in and kind of catch the beginning of these new bull markets, because this is a new bull market. It's still a baby bull market. We just bottomed in October for most of these things, so this is 7 months old. So yeah, just believe half of what you see. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. I'm Mack Tuggle, investor, manager, author of This Way to Wall Street, and host of Big Black Charts. And I hope you guys have a good weekend and a good week ahead. Say bye-bye.
Bye.